Yeah, it's been a long time coming to rep the East. Buffalo bad with a vengeance, we resurrected the team, man, we dangerous. Watch for these horns, they lacerate and cut. We don't play no game while we play this game, no, I playing us. You know what it's about, you made me wanna shout. They said to take it now, we took another route. Deuces to the drought, play through all the doubters, finger pointing and laughing. The ones that was talking that trash are the same ones circling wagons, we ain't having it. Dominate divisions ever since we put the L in it. Knocks the competition out the stadium like hammer fist. Stephon Diggs a grave and he pays respects to the cornerbacks that can't cover quickness, then he catches it. Yeah. In 1995 to 2020, break the streak. Kept the faith in every season for the team, cause I believe. Taught me no matter how many times you're down, do not accept defeat. Feel like number 17. You got me feeling like I'm Josh Allen. Yeah. What? You got me feeling like I'm Josh. Okay. You got me feeling like I'm Josh Allen. Yeah. Josh. Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Who? What's up? Josh. Yeah. Succeed the most in the freezing cold. Break a couple tables in the parking lot with sleet and snow. Yeah. Put the work in with Sean McDermott, a worthy coach. Y'all can get the hands like a Wilson ball when it's easily thrown. That's so many yards to the point we owning property. I remember haters.
What's up, guys?
But they don't want it with Buffalo. Cause when the winter storm hits, they'll be stuck with nowhere to go. Let's play like a hide and seek. We'll find a week up on the field to hike and wheel. And reach the lights to trade White and Edmonds, all kinds of D. Back in the driver's seat, the Singletary. He's sprinting scary to carry.
How's everyone doing? I got things to say.
We gave New England pats up on their back. Told New York to check, they left the scene and packed the bags. We're fishing for some dolphins, left some beats up on the sand. AFC East champs, you got me feeling like I'm Josh Allen. Yeah. What? You got me.
Hey, Pax, you got me feeling like They know it. My kids woke up today said, you got me feeling like I'm Josh Allen. They said it without prompting. I was like, they know it. What's up, Jeremy? Nick, thank you for popping in. Listen, man, I got to start with an apology. I'm sorry for that awful game. I also want an apology to the guy at Wise parking lot who picks up all the carts. It's our local grocery store. And he goes, I had my Bills stuff on. And he goes, how you feel? I was like, bet the Bills 20 points. Just go 20 points. He's like, that's how I feel. I said, I haven't said that all year. From week 1 till now, I haven't said that. But like, go 20 points. I said, I will say with the caveat of the new coach scares me a little bit. But I still think 15 to 20 points. He goes, that's how I feel. And he goes, bet the Steelers too. I said, well, I think this is going to be a little closer. Could I be more wrong? Could I be any more wrong? Dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. Josh Allen, without a shadow of a doubt, is not the MVP this season. I'm not saying he's not the best quarterback in the league. He may be. I will have that conversation a different night. But as it goes tonight, this game solidified the fact that that dude is not the MVP. So now to me it is either Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson should be in the mix there. You can talk Dak Prescott a little bit, maybe, but I still think it comes out. It's Brock Purdy's MVP to lose. The last pick of the 2020. Are we joking? Like, this is the dude that we are going to have as MVP, and he's making $800,000 this year. I mean, we say that like it's no money. It's a good bit of money, but big shout out to my son's wrestling coach. Invited us tonight for a boilo party. What's up, Scott? West Coast people loving this. It's still early there. It's, what is it, 11 o'clock? My wife was on one night. My parents came and picked us up. So it was like every hour it got... So I told you this earlier tonight. We're going to start ripping, but I hate these Peacock games. They're dumb. Or these exclusives. Amazon Prime. Like, this whole, like... I love the fact that YouTube TV has Sunday Ticket. And I get it's called Sunday Ticket. But as the NFL progresses, and we have more Saturday games, more Friday games, Monday games, like multiple Monday games. Dude, so I was out to dinner last night, and a lady goes, oh, I just had a little old lady. I was robbed by a little old lady. Like, and I didn't even see it coming. She was that kind of old. She's like, hey, sweetie. She's like, I just wanted to stop over at your table because I'm from Rochester and I'm a big Bills fan and I see you have your Bills stuff on. And did you know they're only playing the game on Peacock tomorrow? I said, I heard that. I said, that's kind of nonsense. I said, she goes, well, we're staying in the hotel and they're not going to, like, we don't have Peacock there. And I was like, so did they have it on the NFL app? Did they have it, Scott? That was my question because it was not on NFL TV. This one tonight was exclusively on Peacock. So they said. So was it on the NFL app too? So, because I have that too. I didn't get on it because it doesn't go to your TV. Oh, you have it on your TV. So I only load it on my phone, I should say. I don't have the app. So did you have that game even though you didn't have Peacock? You had that game? I'm asking because I was really curious about that. And I was like, well, I'm sure there's other ways. You did watch it on the NFL app. See, and I said that, man. I was like, there's got to be another way, right? Like, that's good to know. That makes me happy to know they did that. So if you buy the NFL app, like games like that, like the prime time games are on there. Well, I'm sorry you paid for that to watch that game tonight. Because, holy but Jesus, what a game. Do we agree that Josh Allen... Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to start with this. Scott, do we agree Josh Allen is not the MVP this year? I'm not saying he's not the best quarterback in the league. We'll have that conversation another time. But do we agree he's not the MVP this year? Charlie Jones. And now I'm going to say, Joe Brady, don't get cute. Listen, man, I get it. You threw Josh Allen 15 times last week and we won. I get that. That was a cute move. It was cool. It was impressive. But dude, do not go back to back and throw him 20. He gave him 21 pass attempts tonight? Stop that. Now, Josh Allen did have an interception. But let's not get cute. What I did see was at the end of the game, the team come together and have a very serious conversation. And they pulled, it was cool to see the team like this is business. Like, it looked like a boardroom meeting. And I didn't see fear. Stetson Bennett there. I didn't see fear. I saw purpose. You know? I saw like a team that was like, dude, I mean, this is our season. And I said this after we lost to the Broncos. And the Eagles ultimately. I said, when we lost to the Eagles, I said, okay, playoffs start now. We can't lose another game. This is our playoffs. We need to win 8 games. 4 in the season. It may have been 9 games then. But 4 postseason games, assuming we don't get the bye, which we're not going to. And, and then whatever games we have left. And I saw a team tonight that showed that they know that at the end of the game. What the hell happened? I can't even speak to the game much. You know why? Because the place I was at for the Boilo party did not have the NFL Network on their TV, nor did they have Peacock. And listen, I'm very thankful. They had a great party. There's Jordan Addison. They had a great party. It was a great time. But we, on my little tiny ass phone, watched the game. And, until I had and there was 30 seconds in the game left. And my phone's critical battery, low battery. And I looked at my wife, it's download Peacock. She's like, oh, okay, sorry. Everyone's what is going on? I was just download Peacock. It was stat. We got a dyer here. Someone's dying. I mean, I had a Bills. Everyone knows, when I'm there, they know I'm a Bills fan. And I have this Bills Christmas sweater on, and I am dead ass serious. We cannot miss the end of the game. The whole plan, tonight's plan, and I'm sorry, the part of the reason I'm breaking so late, I should back up. Part of the reason I'm breaking so late is because of what happened in this game. I had the final score 31-10. I'm happy we won. But I do gotta say, the plan was, hey, we'll pop into this party, we'll have a little boilo. Which was fantastic. I gotta say, the boilo is fantastic. We gotta do a little boilo and bottle a little bit up and send it to you guys. I might have to buy some mini bottles and do this whole boilo thing. I told him I want the apple, not the tree, not the apple. He says he's going to teach me how to do this. It was so good. My wife, who is always like either shitty drunk or like, I'm not drinking tonight. There's two levels. Like, I hate you or I'm not drinking tonight. And she was like happy. She's like, this is so good. Like, all night long. And we did. We like rode this level. But about every hour, my wife would look at me and she was like, hey, you good to drive? I'm like, I think so. I'm good. Like, I'm feeling good. And by quarter 3, she looks at me and I was like, we should call my mom, who was down the road a little bit at a party we were supposed to go to later. There's a Jordan Addison. So I was like, I called then. I was like, Mom, Mom, do you think maybe after the game? She's like, well, we're watching this game. I was like, no, I'm not. I have no intentions of leaving. We're having a great time. Dude, it was awesome, man. This is why I live close to family. They picked us up, brought us home. It was a great night. But the whole night did not go as planned. We were supposed to just have a Boilo or two. Little, like, Dixie cup of Boilo. That's a nice card. Bijan, who has the Falcons? That's a sweet card. And for what it's worth, guys, so David, this is what I'm saying. Now, this is not one I would grade. It looks a little off at the top. But these are the kind of cards I think you're going to see low pop count on. Little red frame press proof, rated rookie Bijan. I don't know if this is centered enough. I could be wrong. I'm not good with grading. But that's the kind of card I would send in. If I see that of a Josh Allen, like a rated rookie, red press proof, things like that, that's the shit I want to see graded high. Give me a 10 of that. That'll get my juices going. So anyhow, I was like, she brought us home. It was awesome. It was a great time. The kids, like, so you know what's cool? How many of you guys know what Manhunt is? Paxton, what did you think of Manhunt tonight? Well, what did you think about like running outside playing that stuff?
It wasn't fun.
Why?
I don't know, it was creepy.
It's creepy. Dude, listen, this is awesome. So we pull up, and it's like it's in the woods, man. Like, we're deep in it. And we're walking up, and like 4 kids show up. Like, Pax is still up. He's still up. So we pull up, and there's 4 kids. They show up, like, we're walking up this driveway, and there's 4 kids, no shirts on, standing like this. Who is that? It was like the boys of Never Never Land. And we're like, dude, what are you guys playing? Like, we're playing Manhunt. And we're like, where are your shirts? Like, we don't need them. And I'm like, I looked at my kids and was like, go play with them. I was immediately taken back to like being a kid and running around and playing Manhunt and like Rufio. It was like that. Like, there was a kid. I was like, oh, dude, go play with the Lost Boys, dude. And they did. My son said it was creepy. I'm like, that's all right. Then get out of your comfort zone, right? And they did. They played outside all night. Until about an hour later, I hear, Paxton, how did you fall into the pond?
It was pitch black dark. How was I supposed
Paxton fell into the pond. He's like, I asked him. I haven't talked to him about it yet. He's like, it was pitch black. He smelled. Dude, you smelled so bad. What was in that thing, man? Was there dead bodies? Maybe, he said. Maybe. Dude, he smelled so bad. So, like, when Paxton fell in, how many kids jumped in after you fell in? Once you fell into it, how many kids jumped in?
One kid shoved the other person in.
One kid shoved the other kid in. You started a trend, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, he said, they're like, oh, Paxton fell in. And my wife had the perfect response. And I'm glad she did it. She's like, where's Cohen? Because I'm like, we hear these horror stories like, oh, they were playing by the water and then like the little kid drowned. Like, we were like, oh my God, where's Cohen? They're like, they're all downstairs, everyone. So we did a quick head count. We're letting kids play. We're letting kids be outside and play. And it was just so cool. So about 20 minutes later, I walk out. I'm like, does my son not have any shoes on? They're like, no, they got wet. I'm like, what's he wearing? Socks. Just just out in the middle of winter, running around in socks, playing Manhunt. That's awesome. He's gonna have the flu tomorrow. Nah, he's good. He's good. But you had fun though, Pax? It was a bunch of dudes from his wrestling team. Boilo got me tonight. It's like that really good, clean, everything's natural. It's like 101 proof whiskey, cinnamon sticks. To me, it was the citrus for me. The lemons, the limes, a little bit of honey. Honey cleared the throat a little bit. So we're going to get through 4 of these Donruss boxes. We have one more. And then we're going to rip one eclectic. So obviously that's what part of it. We're looking for the downtowns too. What is this? Bijan, baby. Little Joey B press proof. Scott, what's going on out West Coast? Y'all ready for Christmas? What's it like out west when Santa gets you guys later than everyone else? That's a conversation we haven't had to have yet, Josh Downs. I feel like the West Coast gets shorter, man. Santa's like all the way around. Same thing on New Year's. We're like, oh, you know, we already celebrated. We popped champagne. Obviously looking for that. We were looking for that. These were sealed cases when we got them. So I popped 8 out of them here. We got the other 8 here. Oh, there's a Stroud. No one wants to talk tonight. It's too late. Everyone's like, I'm laying in bed. If I say a word, my wife will murder me. Schoonmaker. Dude, big game for the Cowboys Dolphins tomorrow. That's the game I'm super pumped about. My father-in-law is bringing over he's smoking a roast. Not a roast, a loin and a rack of ribs. Tenderloin, a rack of ribs, and we're doing veggie tray, cheese and meat tray. Pax, have you watched Rebel Moon? The Star Wars? Not interested or what? Not really? I'm cool with that. I see all the things in like the stores. They have a bunch of Rebel Moon stuff. Is it good, Scott? You enjoy it? I watched a sci-fi movie last night. So like I watched iRobot again the other day. When all this AI stuff's going on, I was like, I want to go back and watch iRobot with Will Smith. Watched it, loved it, scared of it, yes. So I watched The Creator on Hulu. I saw the preview for it a while ago. It's essentially like it's an AI apocalyptic, semi-apocalyptic movie. My wife was like, oh, what is this? I'm like, it's not your kind of movie. She fell asleep. I stayed up. I watched the whole thing, and the only thing it made me do was love my kids more. Like, I didn't make me scared of the world ending. It wasn't a great movie. Has anyone seen it? The Creator. I know they're trying, like, the graphics are great. Like, the whole concept of AI was there. It was cool. But it was just like, it felt a little flat to me. Those would be Jean Way Hot Rookies. I mean, I'm not saying don't watch it. If you love sci-fi, if you like apocalyptic or anything AI, sci-fi, AI, Creator on Hulu, pretty solid. It's solid enough to watch. Myles Garrett. But, I mean, it doesn't hold a candle to, like, iRobot. It doesn't touch, like, what's that, Ex Machina, or there's a couple other ones that are very similar to the AI stuff. It doesn't hold a candle to the good ones. But good for them for trying. Jay Kaner and Jahmyr Gibbs. We're going to do a box of that, Eclectic next. Now remember, if we pull any Charlie Jones, Boutte, there it is, Optic Hollow, Kayshon Boutte. If we pull any NIL cards, it goes to random immediately. Patriots, Jeremy Wilson. There you go, Jeremy. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I see there's 10 of you in here. You scoundrels that are still up with me. I appreciate that. I apologize for being late. Again, I did not expect the Bills game to go this way. Am I happy? Absolutely. Do I think that Josh Allen is unequivocally not the MVP? 100%. If I have a vote right now, it's going to Purdy. And you can be like mad at me. Oh, it should be Christian McCaffrey. It should be Tyreek Hill. It should be... Dude, it is what it is. I mean, maybe Christian McCaffrey. Definitely not Tyreek Hill. For the same reason, not Josh Allen. To me, you cannot have the weeks in between, you know? You can sneak one in here and there. But you can't have the weeks. Like, you can't miss a half a game and then miss a full game at this point in the season. Now, I will say this. If Tyreek Hill now, over the next 2 weeks, breaks that 2,000-yard mark, now that he actually technically only played 17 games, I'll have that conversation when we get to it. All right, we're going to do one of these. But I can't right now in good faith have that conversation that he's in that conversation. To me, it's Purdy. It's got to be Lamar Jackson a little bit, right? Like, dude, like, he has lost so much along the way. On defense, on offense, and, like, everyone hates him. He's a running back. He's not a quarterback. And Scott, I'm with you. If CMC gets arrested, like... So what's going to happen there, Scott? We know what's going to happen, right? You and I are on the same page. Guarantee we're on the same page right now. Purdy gets the MVP. Christian McCaffrey gets Offensive Player of the Year. I just wish they would change the name of it. Quarterback of the Year, Skill Position of the Year. Stop calling it MVP. Because really it is probably McCaffrey. But when you compare LaDainian Tomlinson and you look at that he's the touchdown, right, or the yardage, either way, him and they showed it today on a spread, and I looked at both the stats and I looked at McCaffrey. So I'm like, he's really not that close, right? Like he gets an extra game too. So, and the only reason I get pissed about the Purdy conversation is, oh, he's in a system. Shut the fuck. Like, no. The system quarterback thing, I'm not buying it because Brady was a system quarterback for so long. Adrian Peterson, thank you, Scott. That AP, which, I mean, there you're talking, and like CMC belongs in the conversation with LaDainian and AP. Like, I mean, he's there. But he's got to do more than that, right? Like, who's to say that Purdy's ability to manage a game isn't the reason that McCaffrey is able to do what he does? It depends on your stance. That's all. Cheers, you guys. I'm going to drink. But I will tell you this. These breaks tonight, this situation, my attitude, and this is so unhealthy. So unhealthy. Such an unhealthy stance. But I'm going to be honest with you. If the Bills lost that game tonight, if they didn't score on that final drive, and not even score, they got a field goal, right? Did they score a touchdown? I got to get to that whole thing back to that in a minute. Either way, we're having a different conversation. I'm a miserable person. That is not a healthy way to live my life. Andre Iosivas, we're going to have to round that off. That's a 1 of 4. Cards are gorgeous. This is like eclectic is fairly new on the leaf line. And again, we didn't do an NIL spot because if you get the NIL in the random, you are eliminated from all the Donruss boxes. I don't want that. I would rather this like Cincinnati Bengals. Scott, you're not convincing me of anything. I think Purdy is MVP. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. I am on the same page as you, Scott. I hate when people are like, oh, he's managing the game very well. And he's throwing a great ball. And he looks fantastic. You good, Pat? You probably should chill out, dude. It's late. Yeah, he is managing a great team. He's throwing a good ball. Can we just like say he's a good quarterback? If he, let's just pull it back a little bit. If Purdy was a first round draft pick, if he came in like Herbert did or Allen did, and he was doing what he was doing for the last 2 years, we'd be like, we would have, without a shadow of a doubt, be like, this is the best quarterback ever. But we're fearful because he's Mr. Irrelevant. We have let the stigma of that pick dictate our perception of what we should believe in him. Drake London on the track, 1 of 4. And it's not just Purdy's draft position that gets that. It is also the fact that Garoppolo was there prior to him, knowing that Garoppolo is what he is, and Shanahan was the reason Garoppolo, because Garoppolo was a game manager, now Purdy is just a game manager. Like, he's almost like, he can't win, right? Last pick of the draft, wasn't supposed to be there. Someone got hurt, someone else got hurt. He came in, won every game he played, did everything he had to do, and now they're like, stop that. He's good. He's very good. I would take Purdy on my team. Drake London, 1 of 4, Atlanta Falcons. What's this? This is a pretty card. Ooh! Now, I'm thinking this is all college, but remember how we do it here, guys. If there's any pro, it goes to the pro over the college. But if it's all NIL, it'll get ran up to one person. Malachi Nelson, Miller Moss, Brennan Rice, Tri-Graphics, 1 of 1. I don't watch a lot of college football, so I can't speak to if that is a good card or not. But I'm going to assume those are NIL. USC Trojans. USC. And USC. So here's what we're going to do, guys. That's going to be a full-on one person. And that's what I like about this. Some people may not love it, but I love it. You have one in, you may have a shitty team. You're like, damn it, I don't have a good team. Well, now you have a chance for a solid card there. And Keon Coleman, so money, 5 out of 5. Florida State. So we're going to have 2 randoms there. Scott, don't you go dying on me, man. I need you tonight, man. We got 4 more blasters and another box of Eclectic and round 2 of this go. We're going to be up till like 4 in the morning ripping this stuff. I'm going to be drinking now. Do I have to play some music? So, if those of you have been living under a rock and you haven't seen the, you're here, talk to me, baby. Come on, man. I know Doug's asleep, or he'd be talking to me. If Doug was here, I'd make an old fashioned and really get this party started. Doug, can't thank you again enough for that gift, man. That was awesome. But if you have not been following... Ooh, what's this? Ooh, look at that, sexy man. If you have not been following the whole colors, the whole color thing, and what I mean by that is the Super Bowl logo. A color will dictate who's going to be in the Super Bowl. For the last 4 years, the color has dictated. Come on. So, and now... Did the script change because they've released a second logo? Ironically, I will say this. After this whole thing started trending, the NFL decided, let's put out another one. Let's cover our bases. Which, I'm going to go back to at the beginning of the season when they did this whole commercial with Key and Peele, and it was like, oh, the league's rigged. Like, what do we want to happen in week 2? I'm like, if I were going to tell a lie, I'd make a joke out of it too. Because then my lie seems very fake, it's like, how would I lie about this? Like, obviously I'm not. I called out my own lie. Oh yeah, I did that. That weirded me out. And now they're doing it. They're like, oh, you think the logo? We're going to put out another one. So let's make all the conspiracy theorists realize they're fakers, right? Now, Jake Hainer. The only thing I'll say about that is that the colors they picked, these guys making the videos are like, it's going to be the Chiefs and the was it Chiefs and the Lions? Either way, the colors were like weird. And I was like, well, why not the Bills? The Bills have blue in it and red in it. Oh, it was the Cowboys and the Chiefs because it was blue and red. And I said, well, why not the Bills and the Lions? Or the Bills and the Niners, I said. Because they're blue and red. Either way, I'm not buying into this whole nonsense of, oh, the colors dictate it. I started thinking through... My dumbass got into the colors. I was like, yeah, well, yeah, what about these teams? Bills are not going if they played like they did tonight. I'll tell you this. I'm with you, Scott. Let's see it downtown. I'll go nuts. Scott, you're going to take a shot with me if we pull it downtown? Let's commit to these guys, Scott. If we pull it downtown, Scott and I are taking a shot. Right, Scott? We'll commit to that. You know, Scott, when we did these before, when we did the full case of blasters before, we didn't ship base. And I just, like, rifled through it. We were looking for downtown. The whole point of doing this is to talk about the games. Part of me almost wants to wait for round 2 tomorrow. But I would need permission for that. Scott, you're a man of like principle. I mean, it's 2:30 in the morning. A lot of people are in bed, even the West Coast guys. It's midnight. I mean, would I be wrong? Would I be like ignorant to be like, hey, you know what? I know round 2 is supposed to rip tonight. The night didn't go as planned. What do you say we rip round 2 at like breakfast time tomorrow? Would that be awful? And then if you say yes, it would be, I'll do it. But if you say no, I'm gonna be like, Scott said it was okay. Waiting. I need to see a bubble from Scott right now. I need those like 3 little bubbles of like, Scott's still answering. I don't know if Scott's in round 2 or not. That might predict. And having it downtown might also predict, might also anticipate his answer. Scott, your bubbles are waiting. Jalen Hyatt. I love the throwback cards, especially when people are like, Panini snuck in a bullshit card from 8 years ago. No, it's 10. And it's an anniversary card. All right. Scott, can I quote you on that? I think people would be cool with it. And I will wake up first thing and do it. It's already like, there's a Sam Laporta and a Josh Downs. I'm with you, man. I don't want to do this without anybody watching. That's boring for me too. You're not in number 2. So you're a little bit like, it's like, do as I say, not as I do situation there. I would say with 5 people in, we're pretty safe to like, how many people could I possibly piss off? Bijan, Miles Murphy. DJ Moore out of 141. He had 14.1 yards. Oh, back to back. Dude, I will say this. I love this about Don Russ. Look at this. Ready? Why is this numbered at 141? 14.1 yards per reception. That's numbered to 141. That is a gradable card right now. To me, I mean, based on condition of said card, but that to me is a card I'm sending in if I think I have a 10. That's awesome. How can the pop count be up? Like, and when I go to shows, I'm like, and I see it, and here's the problem. That's a collector's card, right? So this is a double-edged sword with it. And this is what Jason and I want to talk about if we do a podcast. Because, I want a PSA 10 of that, but I also don't want to pay a lot of extra money because it's a 10. But it just depends how deep your pockets are. Like, do I want this card? Say this is Josh Allen number to like, whatever his passing yards per attempt are. I'm like, yeah. But also, I may not want to pay a lot. I may just go get the raw one. I'm going to let message number 2. I'm going to let them know now. Viewership, or number 1 is Scott, I'm calling you out. Scott, you're gonna love me for this. Scott, go see what I wrote. Jeremy, I saw you got that. And you're not the only one. Not TJ Herb. I think it was a Josh. Shit. I can't think of who it was. But either way, someone else pulled one. They said, what would you do with this? I'm like, man, with TJ Herb's, or TJ Herb, because I was thinking of him. I may have been TJ Herb, no, I said it. With CJ Stroud, same thing, 2 initials, 1 last name. With CJ Stroud's situation right now, I would probably just do that. I would send it away to grade and see what happens. I'm with you, Scott. To get the card, and then by chance get the card, and then also it looks so clean you get a 10. Why not do it? Because eventually you'll find a collector who wants that card. I'm with you. And Jeremy, I would agree with that. So I had a buddy, it's like, dude, what's up Donruss this year? There's not a lot coming out of the hobby. The retail is bringing all these downtowns. I said, well, let's unpack a little of this. Hey, I think hobby boxes put in the different case hits a lot this year. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Does anyone know what the other case hits were coming out of the Donruss? Number 2 is, it's not coming out as frequently as like you want to believe that it is. There are a lot of downtowns coming out, but there's a ton of product getting open. We're not opening hobby boxes at $275 near as often as we are a $30, $40 blaster. It just isn't happening as frequently. But because the common man, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit, the common Joe can open a bunch of blasters, and those same guys are like, look what I pulled. We're going to see downtowns a lot more out of retail. It doesn't mean they're watered down, and this is what I told them. I was like, stop it. How many people do you know pulled one? Well, no, I don't know anybody, but I saw them online. I'm like, cool. All right, how many people do you know in your group, in your circle, that pulled one? No one. Okay. Well, maybe they didn't open it. Maybe. But I know a lot of guys who didn't get because they bitch about it too. But we just ignore it. We're like, oh, everyone's getting a downtown. It doesn't happen like that, man. It just isn't happening like that. I just think that Panini is trying to switch it up. They're trying to put different cases in the hobby, which they should do. And then the retailer going more downtown. But you still can't find them. I'm a little bit irritated because there's no Josh Allen downtowns this year. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything. He wasn't ready. It cost you $0. I mean, the artwork, Dalton Kincaid, Hendon Hooker, White Hot Rookies. Clayton Tune, the rookies. All right, we have one more blaster to go. So, Jeremy, what are you going to do? You going to send it in, man? I already let round 2 know we're going to rip it tomorrow. We're not going to do that tonight. I can't talk to myself for another hour and a half. Well, we pulled one out of our case of hobby. This has always been my complaint. Generally, there's one out of a case of hobby, one out of a case of blasters. They said this year it's very different. There's just a randomly scattered. You can open 5 cases of hobby and get 2, and you can open 10 cases of blaster and get 0. Like, it's just the difference in hobby is that you're going to get an autograph and a mem, but also you're going to get a lot of numbered stuff, different inserts, different parallels. I will say about retail, after opening a lot, yes, we have inserts and stuff, but we don't have the amount of numbered cards you get out of hobby. You get a lot of good numbered stuff. And as a collector, I like that numbered stuff. If I'm buying into a break, you're paying a lot more for it. This is cool, though. Hendon Hooker. I'll probably pay up for the hobby. But I like mixers like this that offer, like, you know, we're going to get some more autographs. We have 5 more autographs coming. The reason I don't love Donruss Hobby is because you don't get a ton of hits, you know? You get, like, limited number of hits. Michael Wilson, Rashawn Gary. Kelsey, man, he's taking some heat right now. A little hickey on his neck. DTR. Canvas portrait. Late night hookers are the best, Scott. Do you have them? Are you just saying that as a joke, or do you really have the lines? That'd be funny if you do. You do. Scott, always. I did a joke tonight to Josh Long, and I said, "Oh my gosh, if that isn't a Scott joke," he goes, "That's definitely a Ripley classic." It was like, oh, he went out, he's like cleaning up the headlights, and I said, "Is it cleaning up the headlights, or you taking a pot smoking break?" I gotta look it up. I don't want to ruin my own joke, but I said something about Otto. Oh, he said potato, and I said potato, like P-O-T, Auto, A-U-T-O. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a Scott joke. It's awful. It was an awful joke, but that's like, yeah, your thing. It was bad. It was worse when I just retold it, so I'm sorry for those of you who had to listen to that. It is also 3 a.m, so... I tried, man. I'm trying to entertain. It's 3 a.m. The Bills almost lost. I had to watch the whole game. I had to be there. Yeah. Listen, I had to watch the whole game on a cell phone because, Scott, they didn't have I never finished the story. They didn't have the NFL net package. And they didn't have Peacock, which is all right, man. I was happy to be invited. I'm not complaining, you know. Must be in the other boxes. And, dude, so I literally have the phone set on the counter. Now, to be fair, I'm camped out next to the crock pot of Boilo. So I had a lot of Boilo. But I also couldn't focus as much. So my dad, when he picked it, he was like, "Did you see the play?" Where I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "But when?" I was like, "No. I saw the score, Dad." And he's like, "Oh," but I was like, "No, I saw the end of the game. Like, I didn't see stats. I didn't see..." Matt's like, "Fumbled twice." I was like, "Who did?" He's like, "Cook." I'm like, "I don't know. I couldn't see. My phone is 6 inches big." Now I know how my wife feels when she says that. It's not that big, dude. It's all right. It doesn't. Dude, I thought of it, Scott. I was like, you know, I thought about this. I've said this a lot. I was like, my poor dad. I remember being in the car and my mom was like, "I got to go into the grocery store and grab ice cream and like this and whatever, like stuff for breakfast tomorrow. And my dad would be like, all right, we'll wait in the car. And I would get so mad because my dad would turn on AM radio and be like, and it was all static. I'm like, Dad, just put music on. He's like, no, I know the game's on. And now I'm like, kids, take the phones. I have my tablet. I have my hotspot. I will watch the game on YouTube TV. You can play Monster whatever on your phones. And I'm like, my poor father had to be like, it's not on 1020. It's not on 1030. Where's 1040? Nope, 1050. It's getting a little clearer. God damn it. Where's the football game? And it wasn't even his team because the Bills sucked. And they were like, it's the Broncos game. Dude, it's just such a funny concept, man. We've come such a long way. And even me, I'm on Grateful Days. Like, I got to watch this on Peacock, on a little phone, in the kitchen at a party. It is such like, we adapt in sometimes positive and mostly negative ways. Devin Brown, 2 out of 5. Is he the dude that's transferring? Ohio State Buckeyes. Didn't the Ohio State guy like transfer? We'll have to random that up. Trey Benson. This is going to be a lot of NIL stuff. We may have to do this as a player break. It just came in today. And on my way out, I was like, hey, Benson's Animal Farm. Florida State Seminoles. We're going to have some randoms at the end. Here we go. We're going to have an interesting one here. Stetson Bennett, Brock Bowers. But remember, guys, if it's one NFL guy, it goes to him. So Stetson Bennett's clearly the Rams. He was with the Rams. He's not with them now, but we always go to last team played for. Brock Bowers with the Georgia Bulldogs. But the way we run it here is we don't random up NIL unless we have an NIL spot, which we don't. So that's actually going to go out to the LA Rams because he was with them. So Brandon Huss, you're going to get that. And anybody that has the NIL spot can argue with me because you don't. We didn't do the NIL spot. We saved the money. So that goes out to the LA Rams spot there. Congratulations, Brandon. And the last one's going to be Jaron Hall in the Minnesota Vikings Uni. I like that they're doing that. 1 out of 3 Minnesota Vikings going out to Carl. I don't mind games on my phone. But Scott, what I don't like is when I'm like, everyone's like, what's going on in the Bills game? it's here. And like, my phone is the TV. I also can't watch Bills games around non-Bills fans. I'm just not good at it. All right, guys, we're going to recap. No downtown. We're going to do round 2 tomorrow, which is probably for the best for so many reasons. But I got it. Scott says too. So Scott, I was about to thank you, Scott, but instead I'll just blame you. Scott, it's all Scott's fault tonight that we didn't pull downtown. Scott's an asshole, and his jokes are awful. And the reason I tell bad dad jokes is because I'm a watered down idiocracy version of, multiplicity version of Scott Ripley. Scott, I do appreciate you being in here tonight. Jeremy, I appreciate you chiming in, putting up my shit. Those of you who are in round 2, if you pulled in, you're like, where's round 2? Scott said I could wait till tomorrow. I can't believe the Bills won by... What happened? What a night. All right, we had DTR, Canvas Portrait. Hendon Hooker, White Hot Rookies Hooker. CJ Stroud, DJ Moore out of 141 for 14.1 yards per... She touched my Peppy Steve. Scott, you know that's a great movie. That and The Jerk with Steve Martin. 2 underrated movies with unique, People don't appreciate those movies, women especially. Out of 100, Preston Smith, Boutte Optic, CJ Stroud base, Richardson base, Bijan Press Proof, and a Richardson base. She touched my Peppy, Steve. Steve, she touched my Peppy. That's equivalent to something about Mary, like, have you seen my baseball? Jaron Hall, Minnesota Vikings, Carl Roberts. Stetson Bennett, going out to the Rams, Brandon. We got the Drake London on the track, Atlanta Falcons, David Populars. And then for the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals, Andre Iosavas. We got a lot of randoms to do here. Remember, everyone's eligible, though, each one. Let's start with this. Trey Benson's from Benson's Animal Farm. Oops. That was the old recording link from when we ran them. Here we go. Trey. Then roll 5. It's going to be the Houston Texans getting after it. Houston Texans going out to Joseph Taylor. The one thing I don't appreciate about these, like all these different... Oh, I guess that was the wrong screen. I just saw it, Scott. Up close and personal. It does go to the Texans. You get to see the results. I was back, man. That overlay was from a long time ago. The one thing I don't like about all these Saturday games, I do like that they have them. I don't want to complain. I want more of this. I don't want it to go away. However, I will say the one thing that bothers me is like the fantasy implications at playoff time. There's a lot of implications that go along, like for example, for our season-long league, Scott, we couldn't do a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or a Saturday, Sunday slate. You could do a Thursday through Monday slate, but who wants to do that? You can do the late swap, which I'm realizing now is probably the way to go. It's still like an edge, though, that you don't need. Like, oh, this person, we don't know who his other players are, but we do know he has 40 points because he played Puka Nacua, so I better go out on a limb and grab some wild cards. It's like, nah, man, just like, can we just do a Saturday, Sunday, Monday game, please? A slate, Keon Coleman. We don't normally do Sunday, Monday, Scott. I don't love the Sunday, Monday, but for this week, there was no way around it. And it is fine. It is fine. We shouldn't be all ungrateful, but why not? You know, that's my only question, Scott. Why not? If you're going to do it, I get it if you're not going to do a Thursday through Monday, but why not? Why do a Thursday through Monday and not a Saturday through Monday? It just, that the concept makes no sense to me. For the Chargers, boo. Thank God we survived that. Rich Martinez, a Cowboys fan, boo. All right, here comes the 1 of 1 triple auto. All right, we got the New England Patriots, Jeremy Wilson. All right, here we go. We're going to do 2 $5 hitless credits. I'm pretty sure my son fell asleep playing Fortnite. My son literally played himself to sleep. I heard a line in a Chris... He just pressed the button. Jets Bucks. Don Wiley and Adam Freeman each getting $5 hitless credit. I heard a line in a Christmas song today. It said, like, essentially the message of the rap Christmas song was, we never had any money. And if I wasn't a boy, I wouldn't have had anything to play with. Like, dude, why? How did we get there as a song? It's 3 a.m. We have 10 minutes left. All right, here we go. Week 16. Pick 'em. Well, Scott, thank you for your attendance tonight, man. You stuck it out with me, even if you are 3 hours behind. There's going to be guys salivating in the morning. It's perfect Christmas Eve. You're all going to be scrambling, watching me in the line at Walmart, being like, dude, I got to wait in this line. I'm like, it's all right. Watch the breaks, dude. Larry. Merry Christmas to you, man. I'm happy. Yeah, Jeremy? Are you predicting that you're going to get it? Oh, you got it. Get it, got it good. You did. You didn't get the guess, though. Week 16 FanDuel. Jeremy, I'm glad you're still in here, man. Thankful for you. Dude, I watched a guy at Walmart today say, if no one's at my door. I mean, it does say Patriots, and I have to get, like, I'm pretty good at this point. Someone said that the other day, like, your breaks are so organized. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of surprising, right? Christine, they're like, Christine gets the spot. They're like, oh, your inventory is so organized. I'm like, I appreciate that, but like, there's nights I'm like, I'm pretty confident that I get it right. There's nights I wonder. I think that was Jeremy's way of saying that, Scott. He was like, kind of like, hey, just to let you know, I did hit that 1-on-1. When you're sorting, just remember, double check. It was the Pats. I had the Pats. Thank you, Mike. This is Jeremy. I had the 1-of-1. Nothing wrong with that, Jeremy. I appreciate it, because I'll remember when I'm sorting. I'm like, yeah, this is the sort. Jeremy had the 1-of-1. Buffalo Bills. You got me feeling like You got me feeling like I'm going to get my kid taken away from me. Floyd, let's draw your... I think he was too. I'm giving him a hard time, Scott. I think he was genuinely thankful. And now he's not, because I made him feel bad. The Bills! We're going to give you instantly get $5 credit, Floyd. I'm not going to take it away from you just because they won the night. All right, guys. I love y'all. Scott, appreciate your attendance tonight. I do. You kept me entertained tonight. I'll be up first thing in the morning. Right, Pax? He says we'll be up first thing in the morning to do breaks. Always, Jeremy, always, man. We never let that go unfixed. Man, we love this group, right? We're here for each other. And you would think it would be more with my incoherency most of the time, right? Scott dealt with it too, and it wasn't even my fault when Scott dealt with it. It was the male people's fault, but I hooked him up. We got it. We take care of things. We take care of each other, guys. There are things bigger than cards and money, man. There's people. We are people. I am so happy that the Bills won, though, because I might be a miserable person if they didn't. I might be. That's truth, and I don't like it. It's my toxic trait, is letting the Buffalo Bills affect my attitude. I should have picked a better team. I mean, I could have been a Patriots fan, and now I would just be miserable. I would have had 10 good years, but now it's like going to be a long road ahead, right? You gotta wait your turn. I'll see you in the morning, guys. I love y'all. Peace.